bonjour, and welcome to the Amateur Detective Club. This club is exactly how it sounds. A bunch of amateurs talking about their favorite mysteries. So if you encounter a real mystery or a murder, contact the proper authorities. Do not come to us. We do not know what we are doing. But enjoy the program. Allons-y. Let us begin. I now call this meeting of the Amateur Detective Club to order. My name is Tristan Miller. That's it. That's the whole name today. That's all you get.
I'm Melissa Meli, detective at large.
Now, hold on.
I'm Jennifer Lopez's Oscar.
Oh.
You're just willing it. You're manifesting it.
Sorry. I'm Jennifer Lopez's Oscar, a.k.a. Tyler Riley. Tyler Riley is the nickname of Jennifer Lopez's Oscar.
Does she know?
Not yet.
Uh-huh.
You
She
know,
will know.
I hear she's very receptive to things like this on Twitter. I've heard that's a great way. Oh,
I'm an Oscar. I can't tweet.
but you can speak.
Yep.
What is this? Enchanted Christmas? What is happening?
Nope, a nightmare gone horribly awry.
Oh no! You wanted to clone. You wanted to clone an Oscar so you could give it to her, and something went terribly awry, like The Fly.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, wow.
I'm also part Jeff Goldblum.
Ooh, wow. Today's show is brought to you by Audible. You can go to audibletrial.com/ADCpod for a free audiobook with a 30-day trial membership. You can browse the unmatched selections of audio programs, download a title free, and start listening. It's that easy. Just go to audibletrial.com/ADCpod.
Give me an A.
Hey.
Give me a D.
D.
Give me a C.
C.
What does it spell?
Ark.
A dyslexic kid trying to write down a Jackson 5 song is what it is.
Oh.
I'm glad that hit. So today we're talking about Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
9.
More like 9 to 9 because he does the German accent in this episode.
He was going for Belgium.
I've been told as such.
By the episode itself.
And can I tell you, if someone said do a Belgian accent before I'd ever heard of Poirot, I probably would have shot for a similar, like, oh, it's like mid-Europe, so it sounds like Rolf from Ed, Ed, and Eddie, I assume.
Not the Rolf I was originally thinking
Yeah.
of.
Oh,
so-
Rolf from...
Sound of Music.
I was like, yeah, okay.
Rolf, the dog from Muppets.
I thought that was
yeah.
Ralph.
No.
It's Rolf?
Yeah,
I
it's
just
Rolf.
assumed everyone was mispronunciating it.
No.
Okay.
Nerve.
What did you
Shots
say?
fired.
I said the nerve.
The nerve? Ah, okay. I thought
the
you
nerve
said...
of McGonagall.
Saints preserve us. So how much of Brooklyn Nine-Nine have you two seen?
All
All of it.
Okay, this is about episode, I guess, how many episodes are in a season?
22, except for the first season, which I believe was 10.
Something like that.
I think this is 11 then. I think I've watched the first season, thought it was pretty good, maybe even a little further, but
Okay.
I'm certainly not familiar with the characters as much as you two
No,
will
you're
be.
not.
No.
Because for example, I was like, oh, when did Jake get married?
Oh, yeah.
And I assume it's to Amy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, and I'm like, he has a kid now. Who? Boyle, yeah, has
Yeah.
a kid.
Yeah.
Like again, this is all like I know these characters.
Nicolaj.
I have no idea. It's literally the last season, right?
Coming out
Yeah.
will be the last season.
Okay, so,
So
there's
we get
one
one
more
more.
after.
Yeah.
Okay. Because
Yeah,
I know
this
they.
is season 7, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Because there are many detective mystery episodes, but this was the most blatantly Christie-esque.
Yeah.
That's even in the show, just the summary
Yeah.
is, they make a comparison, which is when you brought up Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I'm like, because it's a cop show, so there's constantly a mystery.
But there's also the Halloween heist.
Mm-hmm.
But then we don't have enough time to cover all of them. That
No.
would no longer be a short stuff summer.
Yeah, it would just be a Brooklyn Nine-Nine podcast.
Yeah. So get ready for October, everybody.
Yep.
Just
Halloween
kidding.
heist.
Okay.
But yeah, this is season 7, episode 9.
No, 9.
Mm-hmm.
No, just there's only 22, so they can't be 99.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You got 99 episodes, put a bitch.
It actually, so listen, every episode is episode 99.
Yes. I got 99 Brooklyns. Is that anything? No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What would be the not one?
And a borough ain't one? Is there actually
It's a shame you can't see us all thinking.
We're all thinking very hard. And we're all very sleepy today also. I assume. I'm speaking for me and the face Melissa made earlier. Is Brooklyn Nine-Nine an actual police district?
I don't know.
Are you not into the lore?
You think I'm looking up cops in my spare time, Tristan?
I mean, that's fair. Yeah.
I don't remember. I feel like I knew at one point. My inkling is to say that it's not a real one so that it doesn't get confused with, I don't know. So that...
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fair. That way, it's not making fun of a specific
an actual...
precinct or
That,
something.
yeah. I could have just made that up just now.
No, but it
but-
feels right.
It feels right. Feels right. We're going to go with it. Tristan's looking it up like a nerd.
Nerd
No,
alert.
a nerd would already know. I am clearly an idiot. Okay, accidentally hit enter, so I just Googled is. How existential, yeah. Is Brooklyn Nine-Nine an actual police district?
This is
No.
such good content.
No. The exterior shots are actually the 78th precinct building in Brooklyn.
There you go.
So there's no Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I
Only in our hearts.
Yeah.
only in your dreams.
Yeah.
And I did know that because it's shot in LA is another weird thing about it. It's one of those situations like Friends, where it takes place in New York and it's shot in Los Angeles,
Yeah.
the
Weird.
city of angles.
So many of the actors are bi-coastal because it throws me
yeah.
off because I also forget that it's shot out there because Andre and Stephanie and a few of them live in New York.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. As did Sandberg for a while. I think he probably has residence on both coasts at this
That's
point.
how to do it.
Yeah.
That's what, that's the dream, right? If you're working in film and TV.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
dream is to own it all.
There you go. Mhm. Some of us dream bigger than others. I admire it.
For me, my dream is to live in New Zealand and then get paid to fly back to the States and do things. That's my dream.
I like that for you.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I truly want to develop an awful affectation of a New Zealand accent. I've been training my whole life for it.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So this
this
episode... That was a high noon draw.
Where were you, Melissa?
Yeah, come on.
I just went to sleep for a
The
second.
script says
Pick up your cues.
all of us in unison.
begins with the Jake coming into Holtz's office and going, "You've started this new fangled
task force.
Thank you, and I want to be a part of it. Here's my resume." And I thought it'd be cool if I rapped, and then he's like, "But no," and then
some of it might rhyme, but like that's by accident.
Yeah. And then Holt begins to read it out, and of course it rhymes. And then he reads stage direction of what is his Boyle?
Yeah.
Charles
enters.
Yeah. And then
title of my sex tape.
Yeah.
Boom. On brand for the show.
And starts doing a
freestyle that apparently was not the agreed upon lyrics.
So it would seem.
But he has some good points.
The inciting incident happens before the title sequence.
So after he cuts Charles off, he reminds...
You don't get any of the family's money anymore. None of it.
I lost my place. Do you have...
Well, yeah, I mean, basically, Jake is very silly, but he does make some good points that he has a really good...
He's qualified.
Actually, the intro does come... Okay, pretty earlier than I thought.
He alludes to being like... Well, he says that he's like really good under pressure, like staying calm. And,
yes, he says that.
High pressure situations.
Yes.
And on cue, an explosion goes off in the precinct.
And he goes, ah!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a nervous Meli.
And breaks the glass window of Holt's office.
Yeah. The explosion, not him screaming.
Yeah.
Not like Looney Tunes.
Who's to say? But then we go to the title sequence and we come out and we see
Scully?
Crab and Goyle. Which one is he?
Yeah.
Excuse?
It is either Scully or Hitchcock.
It's Scully.
It's Scully.
It is okay. I was right.
They're always together, so it's truly a bit confusing as to which one is which. But yes, he is covered in red glitter.
Yeah.
And he it's from Jake's desk. So basically he had gone onto Jake's desk and opened this box and was glitter bombed.
Yeah.
And
what's the weirdest place you found glitter? Either on your body or just in life?
I cannot comment at this time.
Because you're going to run for office later. next election cycle.
No comment.
Where haven't I found glitter?
Oh, damn.
You?
Oh, Now, here's the thing. We had a little fun prank at the theater I used to work at as a teen. God bless theater educators, truly, because you are putting up with teenagers that are theater kids, and my God, that sounds just exhausting. Because we had the floor panels, the carpet panels would come up. And so someone had at some point taken like a fistful of glitter and put it under, because people had a nasty habit of like nervously picking up the floor tiles, because you could just do that when they were sitting there.
Yeah.
And so if you were to do it, the glitter would all come out, and then you would get scolded for picking at the floor tiles. And this happened several times, to the point where we ran out of glitter out of the initial one, and we had to resupply it several times. Kids are strange. There's nothing to do in Minnesota, is what I'm saying.
Right, yeah.
Did you not have hardwood everywhere? Just all of my schools.
Right. I mean, us East Coast elites.
Yeah. Well, you see, I was homeschooled,
It
so
was
I
a
had
joke,
whatever
Tristan.
my parents could afford.
Okay. So
I would speak to the superintendent.
I talked to my father several times about it, and he said, well, why don't you get a job? And I said, never mind.
So they start recounting all the other times that glass has broken.
Yeah.
And like whenever Rosa takes a BuzzFeed quiz and
Doesn't like the result.
and doesn't like the result, and it pops over to Rosa saying, "I am not a Blanche," and picking up a stapler and chucking it through a window.
Now, here's my thing. I know Blanche is Golden Girls, right?
Yes.
Blanche is also Streetcar Named Desire, right?
Yes.
That is where my mind goes first. And I'm like, why would you take a BuzzFeed quiz of which character from Streetcar Named Desire?
Well, you could be Stanley, you could be Mitch, you could be Stella.
Oh, that's what that's.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. It's a
Okay.
joke. Sometimes I do this.
Oh, okay. Great.
You could be the lady selling the flowers.
The titular Streetcar
Right.
Desire.
Yeah.
You could be
The other
the
friend.
the gentleman caller. No, that's the other play.
Cat.
Glass Menagerie.
Hmm.
I don't know
that you
Glass
were thinking-
Menagerie very well.
Gotcha.
I think there's a gentleman caller in Glass Menagerie. Is that a thing?
Well,
Tom?
there's both.
Okay.
Because Mitch is a gentleman caller
Oh,
in
Mitch
Streetcar.
is the gentleman
But
caller. in
Stanley also
Streetcar.
has another friend, and I don't remember that friend's name.
Oh yeah.
He's just in like the poker scene.
I'll play Blanche one day.
Golden Girls or.
And I'll blanch
Streetcar.
that broccoli one day.
I've blanched a fair amount in my time. I'm very hesitant.
Mm.
You see, now we've gotten all the definitions.
Word of the day.
Even my stomach grumbled.
Yeah,
in
I saw
response to
that.
Yeah.
I saw that with my ears, which is to say
Yeah.
heard.
Yeah, my stomach was like, oh.
Whoa.
I'm digesting what Tristan has said and also food that Melissa ate. Thanks for the commentary, stomach. Okay. So yes, then the second thing that they talk about that breaks windows is Boyle throwing footballs.
Yeah,
and,
trying to bro out.
Yeah, and then Terry forgetting his own strength and gently trying to close a window.
That one's very solid.
It's very solid. So then we have an officer that we haven't seen a bunch walks in and has a bit of dialogue with Jake, and he calls him Officer Howard, and he says, "I bet you don't even know my last name." And he says, Howard, isn't it? And he says, "No." And he reveals his badge and it says Booth.
Now, the reason he walks over is because they're trying to figure out who done it.
Yes.
And they're all literally pointing fingers at each other. And so at one point, Jake suggests that it is Officer Howard because he put the evidence from the DeKalb murder case
On his desk.
on the desk, and now the evidence is ruined, and that was the only hard evidence they had, and it was already not very good. But also Boyle accuses Amy, along with somebody else, accuses Amy because there's a note that's left that says something babe in it. And then Boyle says, I don't think it's one of our her squad. You know, those police friends. It's basically what it is.
It is.
Basically this is just adult Paw Patrol is what I'm saying. But,
Also not wrong.
Yeah, that's true. That's the point.
but then who is the Rosa? Is her name? Yes? The angry woman?
Yes.
Okay. Rosa says that is exactly what a guilty person would say. And he's like, okay, so the only thing I have to do to not be suspected is to blame somebody. And everyone's like, yeah. It's like, well, Amy did it.
Right. But of course Amy says, but Boyle had that entire year where he called everyone babe.
Mm-hmm. Which has a great little moment because it is like, it goes, and you guys didn't like that? And everyone's like, no. We hated it. Very solid.
Very cute. Very on brand too.
But since Jake is angling so hard to get on this new task force, he thinks that if he solves the case for Holt, then he could possibly angle for a better position in this squad. So he not so subtly suggests that someone should investigate.
Yep.
To which Holt yells out the name Dillman, because that is the name of the best detective he has ever worked with.
Yes.
Crumbling Jake's facade.
Yes, and Jake also does this thing where he dons what he perceives to be a Belgian accent, but is clearly a German one. During this time of like, you should find the best detective, and then that is what happens. But before that, he says we have a classic whodunit, and Holt says that is a grammatical abomination. Please say who has done this.
Yeah.
And he's like, no. Which has a great callback later with the titular Dillman, where he goes, I know. Oh, like what's how did you conjugate that? Whom has done this thing or something?
Well, he says, yes, I see. I've come to solve your who has done this.
Yeah. And I know whom has done it, later on during the it's very nice reoccurring.
Yeah. Very quick, this show with the...
Yeah, it makes Gilmore Girls look very slow.
But yes, they at some point accuse Scully, and and they're like, "Why were you even on, opening a box on Jake's desk anyway?" And he says, "Cookies come in boxes."
Everyone's kind of like, "Yeah, okay, that makes sense for him."
Completely tracks. So Holt brings in Dillman, played by
Academy Award winner
J.K. Simmons.
He's also does a lot of voice work, J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
And he's very good at it, and he gives hope to everyone who has the Sean Connery style lisp. He has a very short of front, beautiful voice. I'm not like saying it, but he does have that, like, he talks through his teeth, which is, he and Boyle do that, and for whatever reason it stood out, because I'll tell you why it stood out, because the mixing's really good on this show. The sound mixing. What is wrong with me? Where I'm like, you know what was good about this show? The sound.
No, that's really interesting.
Yeah,
I had not fully realized that. Like, I had never had that thought in particular, but that makes sense. Yeah.
And the sound editors, I feel like, are given a particular challenge. I would love to hear someone who's gone into sound editing to see if I'm way off base here. But they've been given a particular challenge given the speed of the dialogue as well, because even though you're cutting around people picking up cues, they're not overlapping as much, you still have people talking out about this rate all the time. They all sound like they're Richard Dreyfuss, So, okay. Well, I'm the only one who knows what No.
Yeah, I've heard Richard Dreyfuss before.
It's fine. It's fine. Thought that would land, that's all.
Oh, you thought we would laugh.
Yeah, I thought that would pop. I thought that would, like, get engagement in some way.
Other than us just nodding. And
yeah.
General agreement.
But yeah, the mixing is very good is why. Good job, sound department.
Yes.
Use this for your consideration clip for the series.
Please do. When did this season come out?
Oh, like 2019 it had to have been.
I thought you were going to say 20 years ago. 2001, if you can believe it. Yeah. Andy Samberg is aged.
Because it didn't come out during... we were supposed to get a season in the pandemic, but because of what happened with George Floyd, Andre Brower was like, we need to rethink this.
Yeah.
And do it right. And so they scrapped it, went back and rewrote the season that we're about to get.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I love Andre Brower, by the way. So much. He's so good in this.
He's so good.
Who?
Captain Holt.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And the fact that he doesn't know that he's funny as well is so
very
endearing.
So charming. Yeah. Yeah.
He
it really is
far and away my favorite character out of all of this.
I love them for different reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, Holt is a fantastic character.
And any Holt Rosa interaction I can get.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So good.
I love Rosa too. I love them all. But they've all grown so much over
They have.
Yes.
I'm so proud of them.
They're so good.
I agree.
But Dillman has arrived.
Yeah.
Yes. And he says he's with the San Francisco PD.
Yes. He was on the NYPD, but
he got fired for
putting away corrupt cops.
Yeah.
And Holtz has this line, which is he put away so many crooked cops, they used to call him Mr. Clean. And Peralta is like, okay, well, that's probably not the only reason.
Because he's bald.
Because he's bald. And Jake hits him and goes, what, because I'm bald? And he's like, yeah, yes. And he's like, well, I shaved my head in solidarity with my mother when she was going through chemotherapy. And he's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. He's like, no, that was a lie. This is obviously male pattern baldness. But I now know everything about you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he does this with most of them.
Yeah.
Where he has like a brief interaction with them. And he's like, I now know everything about you.
Which is a beautiful heightened parody of every gosh darn detective.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really fun. So Peralta and Boyle have a moment where they say, oh my gosh, he's so good. But like, maybe if I still can crack this case, I can still get on this task force instead of him. I just have to solve it before he does. And Boyle is always Jake's cheerleader. Like, he wants Jake to do well. Like, that's like his purpose. Like God, what do we call it in acting school? Like, the thing we want the most.
A super objective?
Super objective. Boyle's super objective is for Jake to succeed. Somehow.
Thank God for you. Because I almost, with like every bit of sincerity, went, his I Want song. Which is
Yes, his I Want song.
Jake is his I Want.
If this were a musical, that would be it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So good.
I'm
Very
so
silly.
tired.
I'm blitzed out.
We're doing a musical. That's how you know. We're very steeped in it right now.
So, who gets accused first by...
Terry.
Terry gets accused first because Terry is impatient because all...
Dillman.
Dillman is doing is walking around pacing and thinking. And at one point, you know, he goes, can he speed it up a little bit? And Holt goes, would you ask a heart surgeon to speed it up a little bit? And he goes, yeah, if he was just standing around thinking, yes.
Which is solid.
Yeah.
But yes, Terry wants to get out of there because Terry's daughters, the
Cagney
twins,
and Lacey.
Cagney and Lacey, have a recital, right?
Yeah. And they're a recorder recital where they're playing Uptown Funk.
And Holt says, I don't care if they were playing actual music,
Yeah.
which very good.
He also called in an earlier episode like Barbra Streisand like a rock star because
I love how detached he is.
because
it's
anything
beautiful.
that's not like, I forget what Century uses. If it's not that, it's all rock music.
That's
Yeah.
not incorrect. I actually agree with that. I think so.
Yeah, this makes complete sense to me.
Yeah, anything past 1930 is just rock and roll. It's just rock and roll to me.
So Jake makes an attempt to accuse him, and he reaches into
Terry, to accuse Terry, yeah?
Yeah, to accuse Terry. He reaches into his desk drawer and finds a pair of suspenders because Terry is always wearing suspenders.
There's a really fun moment where he's like, because you're the suspender guys. Well, he goes, well, I think I'm a little bit more complex than that. You know, I
Had a troubled childhood, so I really gravitated to sports and art.
And he goes, no, you're the suspended guy. So
You're not wearing suspenders today, and why? And so he pulls out a pair of suspenders from his desk, and
But even I, the casual viewer, could realize that those were 97A sequins and not 97B.
right. So they have red glitter on them, and so we get a J'accuse moment essentially, and then Dillman says, "No, but listen, he has two daughters, Cagney and Lacey." Oh,
yeah. So another joke that happens is Jake goes, so case close, and Rosa goes, did you just put a file there for you to shut, for you to do it? He's like, obviously.
yeah.
Which is very fun.
But But yes, he has two children who are the right age to be in a science fair, and they wanted Daddy's help to make Mars sparkly. So Terry got Cagney and Lacey some glitter. That's why he has glitter on his suspenders. It's different glitter than the glitter bomb glitter. So
Checkmate.
yeah. So it's not Terry. Case open.
Yeah, case open. And what he does as well is he says, I deduced that Terry has children. And Jake goes, you just saw the photograph. He goes, yes. And it's just like one of the things, like, you can use language to make anything sound better. Remember this when you're putting together your resume. Don't make it rhyme, but do use complicated language. But he does like weirdly deduce like they're the right age to be in second grade, and Brooklyn does the science fair this day, and it's and it's very hyper specific, and it's
Yeah.
And Jake goes, well, that's a really complicated way to say that Terry has kids, and he goes, thank you, which is very fun.
Yes.
J.K. Simmons is very good in this. It turns out J.K. Simmons, good actor.
Yes. He's
Who knew?
really quite good.
I didn't.
There you go.
We know now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next we have Rosa. And Rosa is in the interrogation room.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just sitting and staring at each other, she and Dillman. And they're
'Cause-
like, oh no, this is going to take forever.
Dillman never speaks first.
Right.
And Rosa, the way Amy says it, Rosa never initiates conversation ever.
Of any
Yeah.
kind.
Any kind, which is beautiful.
So Terry is like, I have to leave. I have to go to the recital.
Can you hurry up? And
Rosa says no.
then J.K. Simmons is like, well, now that I have the upper hand.
Mhm.
She's very bothered by it.
Yeah.
So she wasn't out with having lunch with everybody else.
Because everyone else has an alibi.
Right.
They all were going to lunch because the bomb was placed between 12:30 and 12:55.
Mhm.
And so she says, well, I wasn't in the main room.
Yeah.
I was in the break room. And
Dillman.
then Dillman says, yes, but why?
First, he goes, oh, well, then no worries then. Forget about it. You're God. Then he
Right.
goes to the door,
Oh, yeah.
and then Holt whispers, oh, he's going to do the double, what is it?
Double
Dillman
back.
double back.
Yeah, the Dillman double back. And he goes, let me just double back on that. And the way, what is the actor's name?
Andre Brower.
He delivers this line of like, he actually said the words. What a treat.
Yeah.
It's so good. He's so good in this show.
Yeah. So let me just double back. And he reveals that that there was like, a code had been used to enter this other room or something.
Her computer logged her IP
Oh yeah.
of the Wi-Fi of the 5th floor, not the main floor.
Right. That's right. That's what it is. And she says, fine. I was watching an episode of Drake's Hollow. I never miss it. It's a soap opera. And basically he says that she says, it's the only thing when my mom and I were having a hard time. It's the only thing we communicated about,
Mm-hmm.
which was very sweet.
And when she says she was watching a soap opera, everyone, the rest of the squad's reaction, fantastic. But my girl Amy, in this, she's not given a lot of lines in this episode. She
Yeah.
has a very diminished part, which is a choice. However, her facial expressions, just like if you watch, I watched this episode twice, and one of them, I'll be honest, my eye tends to gravitate towards her face because it's nice. But if you watch it specifically for her reactions, it's very good. Some very solid acting from the actor's name is
Melissa Fumero. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yes. I love Amy
Mhm.
a lot because I identify with her. But
Also, great character arc from beginning till now.
yes, she has a lot more to do in other.
Oh, I don't
episodes.
doubt
It's
it.
just
I
this
was
one.
just disappointed as she's like my second favorite character on the show.
Yeah. She's very overachiever, and so my school age self is like, I know, I understand.
It leads to a good bit later on.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
But
J.K. Simmons decides to quiz Rosa on facts
Drake's Hollow.
on Drake's Hollow.
yes, because
And she
apparently
passes with flying colors. He
Yep.
thinks he catches her, but
Nope.
he did not.
Nope.
you forgot Gwendolyn. No, I didn't. Joshua and Gwendolyn were never married. The whole season took place in Kiki's mind while she was in a coma. I forget exactly how it was instigated, but it's revealed that Boyle and Holt were.
Yeah.
Do you want to take it or should I?
Oh, you can go.
Okay. They were each other's alibis, and they were like, "That's a really weird pairing. That's the least likely."
Second.
Second. Yeah.
Least likely. What was the first?
Scully, Hitchcock, and anyone.
Yeah, which is quite rude, but
But
understandable.
very accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he literally, there's an episode where he's filing his foot at his desk.
Oh,
like it's,
Jiminy Christmas.
you can't go to lunch with somebody who does that.
No, you can't. It's like making love in a train bathroom. You can't do it.
Oh my! Why would you even say that?
Why would you bring that up in front of Tyler?
So basically, Holt offered Boyle the coveted position on the new task force, which has an incredibly long name and also acronym.
But a
which
very catchy acronym.
it is very catchy and
It's like 7 or 8 letters long.
nails it every time. Does not
yeah.
blink. Does not. You can't see him thinking. Consummate professional.
Where is Andre Braugher's Emmy?
Where?
That is a good question. Yes. I am Melissa Meli. Andre Brower's missing it.
That's fun.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
That's very fun. So obviously Jake is upset by this because he wants the position, and Boyle is his good friend.
Yeah. And Boyle tells him, listen, Jake, I wasn't going to take it. And he says, okay, but Boyle, and this is another show of Jake's character growth, because in season 1, he'd be like, no, of course you're not going to take it. It's, it's my position. But did I say words in a weird way?
No. I thought something insane.
Oh, good. Oh,
You gonna share with the class, or what's good?
Because you were like, but Boyle, and I thought you were going to make a joke about a butt Boyle. But I was like, Melissa would never do that.
that's true.
And I want it on the record here that if that's what you think is insane, I have to talk to my therapist more.
Yes.
But yeah, so Jake is like, don't do that. It's better for you. But then Boyle's got some kid at
Yeah.
school.
Nicolaj. And he's making new friends. We don't like it.
No. And Jake goes, that's great. He goes, no, he's trying to make me jealous. And Jake goes, what? He goes, I did the same thing with my dad. Very funny.
Yeah.
Very weird. Very strange choice.
Yeah.
Unhinged. Truly.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Boyles. So good. So awkward, but so good.
Yeah. So yes.
Oh, the show, it takes place in Philadelphia.
Fresh Prince.
No, that doesn't even take place in Philadelphia, you jag.
I know, it just starts in Philadelphia. It starts every episode in Philadelphia with the theme song.
That takes you on the journey to Bel Air. It's literally in the name of the show.
La 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 la.
No, the one that has Philadelphia in the title.
Philadelphia
Danny
story.
DeVito is.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Thank you.
Yes.
Where was he going with that?
Weird choices. Boyle. The dad.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Oh, so you are familiar with It's Always Sunny?
Yes. Yes.
The family that they drink the milk. Mm-hmm. The Boyles are a more palatable version of that family on that show.
That makes sense.
So he says that he has solved who has done this because he hears Boyle and Dillman says he hears Boyle and Peralta talking about the task force. And so he says that Jake did it so that he could solve the case and therefore be deemed the greatest detective in the world. And join the task force.
Yeah, and Jake is like, that doesn't make any sense, yada, yada, yada. And then Dillman pulls out a receipt from Party City from Jake's bag, and Jake goes, I don't keep my receipts. Honey, tell him how much our accountant hates me. And Amy goes, she hates him so much.
Yeah.
And it's very good. It's very good.
Real quick, I do want to touch on a moment that I forgot about
Oh.
briefly. So when Dillman overhears them, Jake is like, nobody likes a know-it-all. And Dillman just goes, you're married to one. And it's so good.
And he goes, you're married to one. It's very good. It's very good. Because it's immediately preceded by him again saying, I know everything about you.
Mm-hmm.
It's very solid. Set up, knocked
Really
down.
good.
So Jake gets suspended.
Yeah. Because
Because-
Holt is like, yeah, no. I mean,
Yeah.
if Dillman says he did it, he did it. And he says, case closed.
Bum, bum, bum,
So,
bum.
Then it's like Jake and Amy down on the street, and he's like, babe, you believe me, don't you? And she's like, yeah, I'm your wife.
I got to, no matter what. Which
Yeah.
he glosses over. He's so, and I'm like, if my wife said that, I'd be like, now hold on. What do you mean, no matter what? If you mean even if it's true or not? 'Cause-
That's a real one.
yeah, number one, yes, I appreciate that. Real one. However, that does infer that in this moment, she does think he did it, though.
well, she says that she's going to go and look for prints
Mm-hmm.
on the Party Zone. Because they can't say Party City. The Party Zone receipt.
Oh.
And, you know, she said, well, I'm sure that yours won't come up, but maybe someone else's will.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, prints, that's it.
And then he goes.
In his little red Corvette.
Go! Beat me to it.
And he brings his German accent back.
We should probably take an ad break here
Oh, yeah.
because it's
Sure.
a reveal. Because
Yeah,
it's a big
yeah,
reveal.
yeah, yeah.
We did it again. Oops. Ain't I a stinker? We did it again. Another episode of Amateur Detective Club. Thanks for listening. You can go over to scavengernetwork.com and check out all their podcasts, live streams, and whatnot there. You can go to the show notes and look at our merch if you want. I'm hopefully touring my hour of comedy, Manic Impressive, to maybe a city near you. You can go to tristanjmiller.com/manic-impressive. It's an hour of comedy about bipolar disorder. Turned into Bing Crosby there for a second. Or at Tristan J. Miller 1 on Twitter. I won't shut up about it. I'm sure it's very annoying.
Oh, okay. We
Well,
have...
way to not refute that my Twitter's not annoying.
Oh, I didn't know we were doing rebuttals to the ad break.
You're on a rebuttal to a concept of an advert. This should be free, and it should be run like the BBC. We should receive government funding for this podcast. What you need is access to affordable podcasting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Um,
That made up for the clunker earlier.
the concept of getting government funding for our podcast really hit me.
You know, people do. Terry Gross
Yeah, well,
over there. You know, this
Let's
is American
think of a
life.
new way to introduce my part of the break
But for this podcast in this economy, no.
you can find us on social media at ADC Pod. That's the @ sign. You
Not
know?
AT.
Right, yeah. You may have met this symbol. It starts many handles on the social medias.
It does bother me that it's just called an @ sign and not like an ampersand. Because it doesn't have a special word for that symbol. It's just an @ which I think we got to figure out. I'm coming to you, the American public, and also Sweden. And I need...
Hi, Sweden. We love you so much. Please never leave us.
But we want to be 28 this year. Let's make it happen, everybody.
Please.
Oh, were you done?
Yeah.
Oh.
I've concluded. They know. They're smart. They get it.
Okay, great.
Are we dumb?
No, you're also smart and you get it. And we can just move on. Oh my God.
Honestly, I forgot what you said before about, 30 seconds ago.
You know.
So I wasn't following, but...
So you're not only recording a podcast, you're also listening to a podcast as well, is what you're saying?
Our own podcast.
Yeah.
I'm recording and listening to it at the same time.
Yeah, but the way I listen to this is the joke, you see, is I don't pay attention to podcast in one ear, out the other.
Okay.
It's all gone. It's all just noise to not hear the train.
Poirot.
Oh my God.
Great. At ADC Pod, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can email us amateurdetectiveclub@gmail.com. Tristan will read it.
And probably ignore it.
We love you so much.
I just am just so busy.
Hello, Patriots.
Oh.
We have done it here at ADC Pod.
Ooh.
We have found all you need to prove election fraud. But you must subscribe to our Patreon first in order to access the information that real Americans want to know.
Oh my goodness.
So visit us at patreon.com/ADCpod today.
Truly the greatest mystery in American history.
And we solved it.
And we solved it.
For $1 a month.
For $1 a month, you too can know.
We reveal the answer in all of our bonus content.
It's just a PDF that says you're racist.
Oh my God. Well, now you don't have to pay it.
In my mind, it was like, if I say this, they what? Butt soup. Back to the show. So he comes in with the German accent, you were saying, Melissa.
Yeah, because he has solved the case, and we get
meaning Jake Peralta.
meaning Jake Peralta.
Or
And-
is he?
Because he does have a different accent than Jake normally does. Who is this man?
Mm-hmm. It was Dillman,
Yeah,
and he says, "Why would I do that?
that's absurd.
Because you want Holt to put you on the task force," is what he says, and he says, "But why would he want that? He's SFPD. Like, that doesn't make any sense." And he's like, "Well, no."
When they said SFPD, I could only think of sunscreen because I've never SPF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've never thought of San Francisco Police Department in my life. I've never had to consider it, and so my mind was like, "Oh, they mean this." Every single time, I'm like, "No, they don't." I would have to wrestle with myself, like Jacob and an angel.
Yes. He says, so he is not San Francisco Police Department because he was fired.
And now he's working at the yarn barn.
Yep. And the way Jake figured this out was he said to use a certain system.
The AFI system.
The AFI, which the American Film Institute has
System.
has fingerprints in it to run fingerprints earlier, and that system's not been used for 5 years by any police department. And then he goes, "Well, I must have misspoke." And then Jake goes, "Well, I have your manager of the yarn barn on the phone."
And
Alyssa.
she says, "Frank, you have a shift today. What are you doing? You know I have finals."
Yes, which I have finals is such a good bit of writing, because there's nothing more humiliating than being an adult and having your manager be a teenager or even college student.
Yeah.
It's what an embarrassment he's caught in.
Oh.
But essentially, Dillman wanted to, yes, Tristan?
There's a really good joke where he goes, "I hate working at the yarn barn." And Alyssa goes, "Well, I'm really sad to hear that, Dillman." And he goes, "You know what, Alyssa? It's because you're a bad manager. You have favorites, and it feels bad to be on the outside." And it's delivered so well, and it's such, again, just this little microcosm of very, very good comedy writing in this moment, in this reveal.
Yeah. They do a very good job with like very specific dialogue and writing like something super quick, but like very pithy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you get every bit of information you need and it takes 30 seconds.
And we also learned that Dillman has not been showing up to his ships anti-way.
Yeah.
No. Because he hates working at the yarn barn.
But yes, he thought that coming back, because he was going to talk to Holt the following day, but when he heard about this mystery that he needed solved, he thought solving it would seal the deal for him and he'd get back in the good graces. He'd get back to being a police officer and not hating his life anymore.
Because the NYPD apparently doesn't do background checks.
Yep. So it was Dillman all along.
But it wasn't.
What?
Just then, Charles reveals the fact that it was actually ADA Green. 88 Green, who had planted that glitter bomb and had Howard Booth, his son-in-law,
brother-in-law,
drop off the package at his behest because he wanted the case thrown out because it was like a very flimsy case to begin with and just wanted it dismissed and like pin it on somebody else.
ADA is what?
Assistant District Attorney.
Okay, thank you. I don't know anything about the law.
Well, if you watch more Law and Order, you would know.
Which one?
Dun, dun.
Any of them. There's ADAs in all of them.
Tyler, that actually frightened me. I was like, what is happening? I was like, did I just hear my own heartbeat?
Yeah, we're in a real telltale heart situation here.
No, that's...
Oh my god. So, yeah, basically that's correct. And Jake is like, okay, I'll go get, because he goes, because Charles says Howard, and then what's his actual last name?
Howard Booth.
Howard Booth. And everyone's like, who? It's like Officer Howard. Because they didn't retain any of that information. But he's booked him, and then the elevator door, ding, opens, and he's arrested, and there you go.
Elevator reveal. Nice touch.
Yeah. Then there's an epilogue.
Yeah.
Where Boyle's sweeping up. And they make a joke that's just factually inaccurate. Which he goes, you don't have to clean up. He goes, I like to because someone has to, and also reminds me of the 2 years I spent as a cleaning lady. And then Jake says, we really don't have a good name for cleaning man. And I'm like, custodian.
Yeah, but like you could also be like custodian if someone's like accounts.
Okay, janitor then.
Yeah, but that has like a certain connotation these days.
Pray, tell me, what's the connotation, Tyler?
No.
Isn't that you're secretly a genius at Harvard?
Oh.
And you recently stopped saying a very specific word.
Oh, I saw that he was on Hot Ones recently, and I was like, oh, somebody started the PR tour.
The fact that Ben Affleck wore a Love Is Love shirt the next day. Beautiful.
Had to. Because,
Had
like,
so funny.
they don't want people rewatching Project Greenlight. God forbid.
Ooh, we have a good time here.
So we find out that Terry did indeed miss Cagney and Lacey's recorder recital. And he says, oh, don't worry about it. I told them I was late because Rosa got shot.
Yeah. So next time you show up, limp. And she's like, okay. But Jake convinces Boyle to take the position on the task force as well.
Yeah. Which is really sweet.
That is sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet enough that another detective would believe it. That's a line from the show. That's a line from this episode. That's when they're talking about the soap opera. What did you think?
For me, personally.
I love... For me?
For me, this was a 3.5 out of 5. I had a great time. Things just happen like very fast. Like
Do, it's very quick
I
fast.
was laughing too much to like pick up clues.
Mm.
So like, yes, it's a comedy, and like that's his first job is to make me laugh. But like, if I wanted to figure out the plot, don't make it that funny, guys.
It was too funny.
It was too funny. Knock it off, you silly, silly boys and girls.
Gosh, it is up there on my grading scale because it's a great episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And it had a mystery in it. It's a solid 5. I mean, really, truly, it's just about as good as it gets. So much fun.
I'll give it a 3. I thought the mystery is very good. I did not laugh that hard at this episode, I'll be honest with you. How do I put this? Don't think the right character was focused on. And that's one of the problems I think I have with the series is I don't particularly like Jake as a character. I find him grating for whatever reason. But the mystery was really good. To be the exact opposite of you, the mystery was quite good because initially I'm like, well, it's got to be Jake because he's doing. I'm like, well, no, because I thought that. Much like Dwight in The Office, it has to be the person I suspect the middle amount.
Mm-hmm.
And it did occur to me, I'm like, well, it should be Howard. But I was like, well, then that's weird because that's just Scooby-Doo style, which is what they end up doing, which is great. But it got a few laughs out of me. I think I'll bring it up to a 3.5 because there were some very solid moments. I also did watch it the first time at work, so I couldn't laugh too much because then they'd be like, what's this motherfucker doing? But yeah. Overall, good mystery, good writing, and great performance by J.K. Simmons.
Just point of order. I didn't say that the mystery was bad.
No.
Yeah, I just
But
wanted to get that just clear.
yeah, for you, the comedy came first and the mystery second. For me, the mystery first and the comedy second.
I actually found this episode even better because I have seen it before.
Mm-hmm.
I found it even better on this watch.
Mm.
So having a few months at least, because I think I watched it last year, maybe a year ago. Who knows?
What is time? Baby, don't hurt me.
I watched it in pandemic, pre-vaccines. So that's when I watched it originally. So yeah, watching it the second time, I found it even funnier and more clever and more heartwarming, in fact, as well. I understand, and it completely tracks that Jake as a character rubs you the wrong way. 100%. And I get it. It helps to see his arc.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
Yeah. Because especially in the first season.
Oh, yeah, he's very annoying, and he's meant to be.
Yeah.
I'll say this as well. I watched it twice because, luckily it's short enough that you can do that. And the second time, I enjoyed it more. And also watching it a second time, knowing The Who has done this, you can look for, and they do a really good job of setup, payoff, and everything if you go back. And you're like, oh, okay, well, that everything is paid off and set up in the first act, which is very solid.
Yeah.
Which... sometimes when you get a mystery-themed episode, you don't get that, and it's kind of clumsy. And so it's very nice to have and also, again, it's very fun to have an Agatha Christie-style mystery within the confines of people who are already solving cases. It's very interesting, very fun.
Yeah, because it's also a low-stakes crime. So...
well, I mean, seemingly low stakes.
Oh, yes, it does.
But it is
right.
It affects a high case thing.
It does.
Yeah.
Actually, it ends up being more higher stakes than we originally led to believe, which happens occasionally on this show. Because we think it's just hijinks that are happening. And it's like, oh, that's pretty serious. Okay.
I will also say when they said the evidence was destroyed, I immediately was like, okay, that's got to play into it somehow, right? Because, again, they do a really good job of... and it's, again, the show is really well written.
Yes.
Of set up, payoff with that. It's very good structurally. And again, the lines that we all thought were good, we all said. So there you go.
Yeah.
So all in all, I'm not mad that I watched it.
Great. And I will say, I think a lot about police dramas because I do tend to enjoy watching them a lot.
Mm.
And I think there's an aspect of it that's like not wish fulfillment, even though that's the phrase that just came into my brain, but like the idea of like art making a thing that is extremely flawed in real life into something that is better than we have.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think that is part of what's resonant about Brooklyn Nine-Nine to me, because as much as they're obviously imperfect people, they are, you know, good police officers, our main characters. And one would hope that the law enforcement in real life could be like them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, we should probably just end the episode, but I feel like in general, those are the two types of art. There's how it is and how it should be.
Yeah.
All right, I'm good.
Is that the new way of?
Yeah, I'm good. I don't, y'all have anything else? Any
All right,
closing
street
remarks?
sound.
Any closing remarks?
We'll see you next time.
Yeah,
And with that,
Yeah, we don't know what we're doing next
Yeah.
week.
we'll make something up for you. And by make something up, I mean we'll choose an episode of something to watch.
I mean, we haven't introduced any episodes.
Yeah, because
During
we've
short
been
stuff,
kind of flying by
yeah.
the seat of our pants here.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So, see you then. Hope you like it.
I now call this meeting of the Amateur Check Detective Club to order. Gavel sound. Glitter ball.
So there's a new one starting? You said to order.
To close. Gavel sound.
But
Glitter bomb.
these podcasts are made to order. Okay,
Okay.
goodbye.